Good evening, guys. Welcome back. I am your host, the Honest Mechanic, and tonight we're going to work on, well, my Subaru one more time. Actually, this is actually repaired, to be honest. What I wanted to show you guys is something that kind of came across the other day while my wife was driving it. She told me that there was a engine light that came on. So when I scanned the code, it came in as P0304. For you guys that don't know what that code is, I mean, you can find it out on Google, of course. That happens to be a engine misfire on number 4 cylinder. So after doing some diagnosing, I did the simple things, of course. Check my vacuum lines. So if we go down to the engine here, I apologize in advance for the lighting here, which brings me to another point. I've been pretty busy lately, and I'm sorry that I've taken so long to post another video, but I'm working on a project, and if you guys can kind of guess what project is going on right now as I speak, comment below. I'd like to know what you guys think, but you might be hearing some hints in the video. So going right back to it, like I was mentioning, I did some diagnosing on some of the vacuum lines. So pretty simply, you know, we got a vacuum line over here going from the master cylinder down to number 4. So that right there could cause a misfire because the engine could run lean. Now there's all sorts of vacuum lines everywhere. I would say familiarize yourself with the engine you're working on, but just go through all of these. So there's multiple ways of checking it. Of course, you can do a smoke test if you have the machine. I didn't have the machine, so I did it one of two ways. Now, the first way I did it was with an engine that was lukewarm, and I say lukewarm because if it's too warm I would not do it, and that's using either carb cleaner or a a brake clean. So what you would do is you would spray around these hoses, give it a quick squirt, let's say over here, or let's say here, wherever you think the leak might occur from. And if you think, if the engine changes, if it stumbles or if it speeds up, then you know you have a problem. Another method you could use is, of course, using the good old propane method. So you would attach a hose to the end of the propane. You would turn the hose on, of course, without igniting the propane. And then you would just go around the same method. You would scan every little vacuum hose around here, maybe over here. And again, if the engine changes, that could be the indication of a leak. Now, what else could cause a leak? Well, of course, you've got your intake gaskets. So right down below, mine happen to be blue because I've done some work to this, and I've had these replaced. So there you got your intake gaskets over there. So that's pretty well covers, let's say, a vacuum leak when it comes to an engine code misfire. Of course, there's other things. Moving on to, well, what do we have over here? The main source of ignition. I would make sure that the connector going into it is clean, it's not corroded. Same as all these wires. Inspect the wires. Make sure that they're not cracked, they're look in good shape. Now, another method of doing this is, actually right now would be a good time. Of course, it's dark out, it's the evening. What I would do is I would turn off all these lights, I would start the engine, and with a light mist of water, spray the lines, the ignition cables, and see if they arc between areas. If they are arcing, that would indicate that that could be a misfire, of course, because now some of the conductor is not making its way to the spark plug, and it's grounding out to the engine frame. So these are all things that I did, and at no luck did I find something wrong. The only thing that might have been an issue is when I had changed these in the past, a long time ago, the number 4 seemed to be a little bit loose on the spark plug. Turns out that wasn't the case. So I went one step further. What else? Well, this is how I started the video. I pulled the spark plugs. So I've actually replaced the spark plugs, again, a long time ago, because I believe in doing so, because spark plugs are consumable items. They don't last forever. So these were the NGK, if I can read it here, BK, oh, where's my having a hard time with the phone here. It's a BKR5E GP. Now the GP stands for a platinum plug. And after I started pulling these plugs, now to pull these on this particular engine, you're going to have to remove the airbox on this side. If I can get this to focus one more time. You're going to remove the airbox, so simply remove this particular screw here, disconnect over here, take this plenum out, and that also gives you access to removing this particular screw down below. I'm not great with the lighting here again. So right over here. And then remove this duct, and that gives you plenty of access to get into those plugs. On this side, I didn't have to remove anything. I managed to get in there just fine. Couple of extensions and fumbling around, I managed to get them out. So what did I find? Well, number one, if I can zoom in one more time here. Number one, the electrode, everything looks pretty normal. Number two, same thing. Going to number three, looks great. Whoa, what do we get on number four here? It's completely burnt off. Now what can cause that? Again, I don't really know, because since then I've installed some iridium, which is why the box is sitting right over here. So these are the same temperature, so the BKR5 EIX. Now for those of you, again, the EIX stands for iridium. The -11 simply stands for the gap between the electrode and the tip. It's been running great since I've replaced them. So I'm not sure if during my rebuild I happen to get a little bit of excess oil onto these plugs, or particularly onto that one. But I just figured I'd let you guys know that even after doing all of these tests, something else you might want to consider is going right to the source, right to the spark plug. Hope this helps someone out there, and comment below again as to what you think my current project is and what's making me a little bit lackey on doing some more videos. Again, thanks for watching.